Here we go. This is the first in a set of year-end videos for 2022. So this is covering 2023 and ongoing YouTube goals. So this is a YouTube product specific, YouTube specific video. So I came up with a list of 6 things from this year that are, or 6 things for next year, 2023, and or ongoing. So ongoing could be I'm working on it now, I'm going to keep working on it for the foreseeable future, be it 2023 or longer, and or longer. So up first, 1, I figured out featured channels this year, and so my goal moving forward is keeping those up to date. So I figured out I'd seen featured channels. So it's on the channels tab on different YouTube channels. I call mine featured channels. You can name them whatever you want. I learned in experimenting with it. And so some people call it like subscriptions. Some people call it awesome channels. I call it featured channels. And it's a collection of channels that I have watched and or continue to watch. Anyway, but places to go if I'm not posting or publishing, or ones on my channel and they've watched everything, or they're just like, I wonder, I've done that. There have been so I wonder what that channel is. I don't subscribe to this channel. I'm gonna go to this other YouTube channel and I know where to find the channel easily, so I just go to a channel that I already subscribed to and go to their featured channels and then click on it to see if they've uploaded anything, especially if they're an infrequent uploader kind of thing. So for my own YouTube surfing, I guess, experience, I enjoy featured channels on YouTube channels. So keeping those up to date, I continue to update it as I see fit. And so just keeping those up to date. So that's the kind of a long-term one. The second thing is I figured out age restriction for the Remlinger Farms thing. So I made, which I think I actually figured that out. I think it was age restricted 2021 or something. And I was like, it was mimicry. So it was like, I took a kind of a panning view at this place. I was parked my car in the parking lot, opened the door, and then took a panning view. It was like, mimicry might be easy for a child to mimic, but you don't necessarily want a child. And like, I think people I told about it were like, that's just bizarre. I have no idea why they would age restrict that. And so my best guess was, which I figured out, and there's actually a term for it, category. It was age restricted for mimicry. So it's easy for a child to mimic. Right? A child could take their parent's phone, or maybe a parent buys them a smartphone and they just stand with the door open of a car, but you don't want the kid, you know, 5-year-old driving off with the car, right? Which I didn't drive, so technically it's not dangerous. Right? I wasn't on property that was closed or anything like that. But the category of this, and they didn't actually provide me, YouTube, with a reason why it was age restricted at the time. Like, they did not provide specifics. And so I kind of figured it out on my own as a team effort, potentially, between me and YouTube, and figuring that one out and how to categorize it. And so the category is child stunts. All right, what I did was not a stunt, and I did not drive the car. So technically it's not a child stunt, but, all right. And there was no child involved. I was 20, in my late 20s kind of thing. So technically not, but as a reminder, it was age restricted, not removed, right? So this is not a community guidelines strike, technically. It's like a I kind of, it feels like a community guidelines strike, but a community guidelines strike is the kind of thing that can get a channel taken down. This is the non-fatal kind. So it was just an age restriction. It was not the video removal, even if it feels like it was something struck. And I'm working on figuring out the category for handling UC Berkeley spam mail video. My best guess on that one currently was a bit of it. So it was age restricted, and my guess would be in the video I talk about how I dealt with kind of bad characters and stuff. And so one of my recommendations was to save documentation of like my interactions and stuff. And if somebody is under 18 years old and watching it, they might be living with parents who are abusive. And so they might not, saving documentation might not be in their best interest, right? They might not have a safe place to save documentation. So that's my best guess on that one. But I don't actually know. And no specific category was provided and might not exist yet. Sometimes I think my best guess is sometimes age restrictions are applied by YouTube on certain videos, not because the video is currently a problem, but because it might be on the cutting edge of addressing certain categories that do not exist yet. So I was saying, want to make sure the video does not become a problem down the road. So I'm interpreting it as YouTube being proactive and being like, this isn't really a problem, but we want to also make sure it does not become a problem, right? That kind of thing. All right, so that's the second thing, is working on figuring out that category. Third thing, maintain opening up. So I've opened up and talked about some of tough topics and stuff like that. So keep going with that. Not as needed, but as applicable. It's not something I would do every day, nor do I do every day, and it's kind of waned off a little bit. But also to not lose that, because opening up can be a good therapy of sorts, and especially, and maybe not therapy is the right word, but good to communicate it and put it in a positive light in hope that it might help others if they're in a similar situation. Fourth, maintain talking about / sharing my work / work product. So talking about like what I'm doing on Wikipedia and that kind of thing. It's I think it's good. It provides a view into how Wikipedia works, and how it's fun to watch the videos and be like, wow, that has not changed, and which can be a good or a bad thing. But also being like, I was looking for some sort of consistency in my life, and well, sometimes it's just fun to document that things don't change, right? Or maybe the tasks don't change, but the pages do. But then, if something big does change, then I can document that, and I understand the significance, and I have documentation of that big change was actually a big change or significant to me personally, kind of thing. So that was 4. 5, COVID-19 pandemic chronology videos. Go back through and add videos already on the channel from 2020, 2021, 2022 for the pandemic. Keep up to date as best as I can so long as pandemic is ongoing. So keep up with the COVID-19 pandemic videos. There's so I documented the pandemic in various forms at the time, and I started doing reflection videos in like daily update COVID-19 pandemic specific like format where the video is just an update day of. I started doing those 2 formats this year. I did, however, publish videos during the pandemic. So like I have one vlog where like I'm in Edmonds and it shows me wearing a mask, and I think that one's from like March 2020. So I started I have a COVID-19 pandemic chronology playlist. So this task is going back through, and this is ongoing. There is no real end date to that. Go back through and find some of the videos that were like good for me for preserving the COVID-19 pandemic and its chronology, and put those in the playlist so there's more context than just the daily update or reflection on certain day videos. So yeah, and I've started doing that a little bit. I did that with some, like the one, with the mask and Edmonds and stuff. So yeah, I've started that, but this one really has no end date, because I did a lot of videos in the spirit of the COVID-19 pandemic outbreak, in documenting that. So there's a difference between making that choice, okay, this is documenting the pandemic and publishing it, and then being like, now which ones are the ones to include in a playlist, right? For people who are just like, I just want to know about how it progressed, the pandemic. So not all of those videos are going to make it into the COVID-19 pandemic chronology playlist. I do have a COVID-19 /22 outbreak playlist, I think. or I tag them for that. I think I do have a playlist for that, and I cut that off at the end of 2020. I was just like, you know what, new year, just stop. So I mean, it's not my, and I did that at the time. So this is not a new thing. This is something, yeah, I've been doing the entire pandemic. Just not the format of daily updates and reflection videos. That's new as of September. I started that in September 2022, so a few months ago now. Yeah, so that's number 5. And then number 6 is I achieved my 10 plus videos each month, January through December this year, 2022, which is a YouTube breakthrough. Or at least it is per the information I knew. I was just like, okay. And continue on this as I can. So some of the, there's these pandemic chronology videos as applicable. There's sweet eats, savory eats are 2 of the things I've kind of, I guess my first sweet eats was 2020, so it's not entirely new, but the uptick in videos is new. 2022, but not new. 2022 started almost over 2 years ago. And there's that. There's the video watch lists. And then I guess kind of the stuff I've already talked about, like opening up and then talking about and sharing my work and work product and stuff like that. And then just general life stuff. Yeah, I'm calling it for 2022. I'm not going to make it to Burger King for my savory eats of a Whopper and onion rings. I'm not going to make it the mini gold medal sandwiches for sweet eats this year. My goal is to get them done this month, December 2022. I'm calling it. I'm not making it. Why? Because I'm going to Zoo Lights with my aunt on Thursday, and we're going to go to Sean O'Donnell's, which is an Irish pub. And then the next day we're having my godparents over for dinner and stuff. And so I've been eating a lot and I'm kind of full, and I'm like, you know what, if I just wait till next year and do it at some point next year, or after, I don't know. I'm just saying it's not going to get done this month. I'm calling it. So I'm not going to put a peg on when it's going to get done. I'll just say it's not getting done December 2022. So those are my 6 2023 and ongoing YouTube goals. And my first of a set for the end of 2022. I hope the end of this year is treating you well. Be it you're on this calendar system or a different one.